Army.
The army protects all the people in the country. The army protects all the people in the country.
She wanted to join the army.
Our army lets out a cackle.
The army was stationed near the national park. Army.
Billion.
Worldwide sales reached $2.5 billion.
Millionaires are rich. Billionaires are super rich.
They have already pledged billions of dollars in aid.
The World Health Organization says about 3 billion people use solid fuels for heating and cooking in their homes.
Citigroup analysts say BP believes personal claims are not likely to use up the $20 billion compensation fund it created.
Billion.
Carve.
I can carve a tiny hole in a tree, and then climb in. I can carve a tiny hole in a tree, and then climb in.
She read a poem by Carver which describes their life together.
We want to carve out time for ourselves.
The wall was intricately carved. Carve.
Consult.
I will consult the teacher.
These rates do not include the charge for obligatory medical consultations. She has worked as a recruitment consultant for the past 3 years.
Engineering consultancy Atkins provided full multidisciplinary design and management of the civil works on Dubai Metro.
He is currently engaged as a consultant.
Guarantee.
I guarantee that the sun will come up in the morning.
Each lemon comes with a satisfaction guarantee. I know you won't be disappointed.
What kind of beliefs would guarantee your success?
No job can offer guaranteed job security these days.
I'm afraid there's no guarantee of success.
Guarantee.
Hike.
I always bring plenty of equipment with me when I hike. We decided not to go on the hike because the weather was too frigid.
They went on a 10-mile hike through the forest.
Climbing over the giant rock was the biggest obstacle for the hikers.
If the weather's fine, we'll go hiking this weekend.
Hike.
Initial.
This situation is contrary to the initial forecast. This situation is contrary to the initial forecast. How do I initialize my printer? Initially, the children were instructed by teachers.
The virus that causes chickenpox remains latent after the initial attack of chickenpox is over.
Initial.
Intense.
He suddenly felt an intense pain in his back.
The new piece of music is intensely lyrical. His intense vitality is easily observable.
People were dropping like flies in the intense heat.
You could study English very intensely for 1 month or 2 months.
Intense.
Lend.
She doesn't like lending her books. Don't lend money to someone if you distrust them.
She had rashly promised to lend him the money. People considering lending their money through peer-to-peer sites should understand the risks. The bank was an important lender to the British government.
Lend.
Peak.
There is snow on the peaks of those mountains.
This is to try and reduce the huge number of people traveling at peak times.
Sales reached its peak during the winter months.
She's at the peak of her career.
Many New Year resolutions in the Western world involve maintaining peak vitality.
Peak.
Potential.
I've thought of some potential problems with your idea.
The chemical is potentially harmful to fish.
I wonder whether they ought not to recommend a potential customer to buy the goods of a named firm.
We need to analyze the market potential of these new products. The house has a lot of potential.
Potential. Pride.
She felt a great sense of pride as she watched him accept the award.
The product encourages family pride and togetherness. She bursts with pride when she looks at her son.
Please swallow your pride. She felt a great sense of pride as she watched him accept the award.
Pride.
Proof.
I have no real proof otherwise.
Peter proofed the important letter very carefully.
Bella provided evidential proof. The burden of proof lies with the claimant. The seawall was not proof against the strength of the waves.
Proof.
Quit.
I quit running because I got tired.
You might need to quit your job that you have now.
The prices of the services are quite reasonable.
Pull yourself together. It's quite harmless.
The hospital room looked quite sterile.
Quit.
Spin.
All he could do was spin in a circle.
Let's boil some spinaches for dinner.
She injured her spine in a car accident.
All he could do was spin in a circle. He just always has a funny spin on things when he tells a story.
Spin. Tiny.
A baby's hand is tiny.
It's a little tiny area of tissue.
Jellyfish is one of tiny organisms. People who have organizational skill is always extremely tiny.
The statistics reflect only a tiny fraction of the problem.
Tiny.
Tutor.
His tutor encouraged him to read widely in philosophy.
She had to work as a private tutor to earn more money.
If you're new to MailMerge, check out these tips and tutorials.
They should tell the tutor as soon as possible.
He was my personal tutor at university.